Hi everyone, Sue Firth again, just talking about a particularly useful topic this week, which actually piggybacks on last week. Now, we were talking about talent acquisition and also the process of being able to recruit people and keep them really last time. And what I want to talk about this time is employee engagement. Now, in my experience, this is really very little different from where we have managed to get to in talking about the wider subject of company culture. And this has been very topical for a number of years now, and there's very good reason for it, because whilst we do talk a lot about it, we're also emphasizing the kind of tools and tips which are really useful for you. So I've got a few for you today. Now, number one on the list is I think you're trying to encourage enthusiasm and also inclusion and involvement where people are concerned. And this is obviously more difficult the bigger that you get and also the more virtual your team. So the first thing to really try to do is to show that you care. And there are numerous ways of doing that. Now, that varies from the benefits that you offer, which indeed have always been part of the package somebody gets, to the regular involvement that you've got for them, and that includes their development, their promotional prospects. It also includes, being able to make sure that you regularly ask what would they need or what would they like and what's important to them, and flexing your work practices around that as well. And I think it's also in the health benefits package that you offer, and that might even include something as simple as some of the policies that you make available for people and that you train your managers in, and then those newer topical subjects that people are doing now, which also include things like the menopause, and indeed when it comes to people's health, we're talking mental health more than we ever used to. So I think the second is that you really work hard at being able to connect people. And of course, this gets very much more difficult the more virtual they are. Now, one of the ways in which you do it is by setting up events, and that's over and above just training events or team meetings, because these are more typical. I think you offer the kind of forums and opportunities for people to be able to come online and also encourage that, so that even those who are virtual feel special. And one of the ways in which I'm reminded this has happened with one of my clients before is that they actually arranged to ship a bottle of wine to everybody who was virtual. Now, in that case, there weren't too many people, but they did it so that everybody could meet at the same time and all have a celebration together. So the third thing I think is that it's really great if you can consider some kind of available coaching within your business, and indeed perhaps consider that you yourself need to be coachable. And what I mean by that is all senior managers and senior executives do at times need to receive feedback themselves, and not just from perhaps a boss, but also be prepared to get involved in 360 so that you can make sure your peers and your subordinates are really getting engaged and understand you. And I think the guidance and support that you've got available within the business is very important. And I think training managers regularly, I know it suits me because these are my topics, but particularly with subjects which they might not find they would otherwise go and search, which is managing change and, funnily enough, managing stress. And this is the reason why I run these topics. Now, I think also what you want to try to do is to encourage people to contribute as much as possible. And the way to do that really is that they need to feel valued, and they need to feel valuable to you. So of course, that's not just in the process of how well you pay, it's also in you being a role model in a way. So if you can understand that the longer you stay in the office, the more people are likely to copy that, actually it's in your favour to make sure that you keep the kind of regular hours, or at least suitable hours, that fit the expectations of other people, and send that message to them too. And then finally, I think congratulate people. Be aware, I'm sure that you are anyway, with the fact that people love feeling that they know where they stand, they know what good looks like, they know whether or not they're getting it right. And I think that kind of praise and acknowledgement and setting those expectations and appreciating people is second to none. Even to the point where I know one particular company which has done a brilliant job, where being proportionately smaller has enabled them to actually make funds available should individuals really need to borrow something because they have found a shortfall and they're in a miserable situation. So showing you care, really supporting people, doing what you can over and above, or thinking outside the box, is definitely the way forward, I believe, for employee engagement and improving your culture. So take care, everyone. I'll be on again next week.